All right, friends, we're here at the Fort Lauderdale International Boat Show, here with Rob Young. I can tell you, when I walked by your booth here, some things caught my eye. It's kind of crazy, you know what I mean? But I was like, especially one boat in particular, I saw it and I was like, wow, this was really set up by a fisherman. So Rob, it's good to meet you. Captain Ron Edwards.
Good to meet you,
You were
Ron.
Speech of Sport Fishing at
sir.
Saltwater Fishing University. Tell us a little bit about your company.
So we build custom boats in Crystal River. We started in 1997. Started with one model, Young 20, and just kind of built it for fishermen. Did a lot of things custom in that boat, and kind of branched off from there to do a lot of repair, restoration work on like some other brands, and started getting requests to put our decks and hatches and receivers and other brands like Carolina Skiffs, stuff like that. And we just came up with the idea of doing that in our own boats. So we build a lot of modular decks where we can move around live wells, fish boxes, coolers, and basically put stuff where the fisherman wants them and lay out the boat bow to stern however they want it, whatever works best for them, and just customize the entire boat from bow to stern.
So you do not just production build boats and put them out for sale on a lot.
Correct.
Every boat is a one-off.
Yeah, we haven't built the same boat twice, Ron. It's just every one of them's a little bit different. Every fisherman's got a particular application. It seems like they want rod holders and fish boxes and even consoles in certain locations. So, our niche, in boat building is that we can move around those major components and put stuff where they need it. And we will do the behind the scenes stuff like the center of gravity and weights and make sure everything's going to ride similar. And basically a true custom boat is what we offer.
That's awesome. I had no idea that such a thing even existed. How long have you been in business? How long?
So we started in '97, and like I said, for years we did not do a lot of custom work. So for 3 or 4 or 5 years, really from '97 to really '06, we just built the Young 20, Young 24. Then the economy started slowing down and we got into repair and restoration of all other brands. And that's when we really started to see, what works, what doesn't work, what holds up over 20, 30 years, what doesn't. And we got into the more of the custom side in that time frame.
Right. So give me a range of models that you have.
So we built a 17, a 20, 22, 24, 26, and a 27 and a 34.
Okay, and what you do is you offer a basic shell, and then you go through with the client and determine what you're going to go from there.
Yeah, so basically our hull, it's set, it's in a mold. We can customize with a tunnel or without a tunnel in a lot of our models. So a lot of our hulls we can build, with a tunnel incorporated or without a tunnel. And then the inside is what we really customize. So the decks, the live wells, the consoles, elevated, non-elevated, traditional center console, or pretty much the whole interior we can customize.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, I can tell you it's a shock to me. It's good to know that there's a company like you out there, because I can tell you just about 99% of the boats that I get on, especially in this size class, I get see things. You know what I mean? That, man, I wish it had been like this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just things that, as an experienced angler, you learn, or as an experienced, you don't even have to be a fisherman, just an experienced boat owner, you learn different things that work for you and work for the industry. And it's amazing that there's a company out there like you guys that offer that. So
doing the custom work, Ron, I tell you, it's really helped us. Like, we'll implement a custom setup for a customer and find out it really works, and then it's something that we can offer a future customer. Because it makes a big difference, like you said, like to have things where you want them, where you expect them to be, that really works with how you use the boat, that it really makes a difference.
And you're taking, a lot of different people's ideas.
We're taking a lot.
You know what I mean? So you're going to have this one amazing product.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just going to blow your mind.
Absolutely. We're able to try a lot of different ideas and find out what works for some guys and be able to offer that down the road and just let them know, hey, we did this for a guy in Louisiana and it worked for him, and You know, it really helps.
Well, that's it. Potential. You have a website. Potential customers could visit that website.
Yeah, www.youngboats.com.
And we'll put it up on the bottom of the screen there in the video too.
Yeah.
Well, Rob, we're gonna get with one of your captains that actually designed the boat here.
Yeah.
We're gonna do a little walkthrough.
We just finished his boat. So
yeah. So that's awesome. And I can't thank you enough, man. Appreciate you doing the interview with us.
Yes, sir. Thanks.
All right, we are here with Captain Bean, Captain Brandon, sport fishing here. We're gonna talk about this Gulf Shore 24 from Young. So, man, when I walked by this boat, I was like, somebody is a fisherman to set this boat up. And learning the whole Young story about how everything is custom, you know what I mean? It made sense to me then.
Oh, yeah.
And so they put you and I together. Let's talk about this rig, man, because I'm excited to see, you know, what went through your mind planning this boat, because when I saw a lot of the features, I was like, exact same thing I would do.
Absolutely, sure. You care to hop on with me?
Yeah, let's go.
Awesome. So first off and foremost, the most important thing to me is bait, okay? Bait, bait, bait. We lined out 3 live wells off the back of this boat. We got 230s and 150. We got 110 gallons of live wells. It's got a clear lid. The other ones, we got a light inside. Sometimes we have a bait with a closed lid, they'll die because they'll keep on running into the walls.
Right.
Well, we can put a light inside, that way it won't happen.
And you've got a holder for each one of your bait nets right there.
A holder for each net.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes when you throw the net, you really whack the bait and get really heavy, right? One thing that's really cool is we got these corner steps. So I'm a charter captain in Islamorada. That's the sport fishing capital of the world. Islamorada is considered a sport fishing capital of the world because you can catch anything from bonefish to swordfish and in between.
Right.
Well, I want to catch anything from bonefish to swordfish in between. So let's talk about that. This boat has roughly a 12-inch, 13-inch draft, depending on load. With this porter bracket, I can practically run over spit. I can run over the shallowest banks, especially if it's soft bottom, on plane, get to where I'm going, fishing in the Everglades, right?
Right.
We also put high gunnels on this boat. And this boat has a really strong bow fan in the front to handle more offshore conditions when we're targeting mahi, tuna, sailfish, X, Y, and Z.
Right.
When we talked about swordfish, well, there's also deep drop spots there. That's where these 2 Airmar through-hole transducers come into play. I can mark fish in up to 2,000 feet of water.
Yeah, pretty awesome.
Oh yeah, I mentioned I was a charter captain. I wanted to try to build a perfect boat for my customers, okay? If you go out there and you catch a ton of fish, but you got the crap beat out of you, you're not having a great day, right?
That's right.
So we put very comfortable seating on this boat. We have a bench facing the back. We have my bench. Now, for me personally, I take up to 4 people. We also have a bench facing the front.
Right.
Okay? Another thing that's really important is to have plenty of space. If you got 4 people plus me walking around fishing, look at all this room we have, right? We do a lot of sight fishing in Florida Keys, very crystal clear water. Want to provide myself a nice casting platform with a comfortable step up. This really widens your vantage point as far as fishing for triple tail, permit, sailfish, mahi, X, Y, and Z. I do mostly triple tail fishing. That's like my favorite thing to go for. So
right.
It's also removable. So let's say I'm taking the general public. I don't really trust everyone to walk up there. Just remove it, put the caps on, keep this in my truck. You got a big flat space.
I noticed that your console where you actually drive from is raised.
Right. So let's talk about that.
Yeah.
So in the Florida Keys, we have a lot of old bridges, old railway bridges, right? I measured the lowest bridge at peak high tide during our king tides, and I could still get under the lowest bridge in the Florida Keys with this boat.
That's awesome.
Well, I like to do that sight fishing I was just talking about, right? Well, it's going to be nice to be up here and elevated where I have a clear perspective where I can see that triple tail, see that permit, see that school of mahi, see that tailing sailfish. And to be quite frank, when I am doing a lot of sight fishing, sometimes just leave the boat in gear, steer my trolling motor, and I steer up here.
There. Yeah.
So that's why I wanted a flat bench. I didn't want like Lembrock seats or any kind of grooves in my vinyl.
Right.
I just want like a nice flat surface so I can stand up here comfortably, steer the wheel with my foot, or steer with the trolling motor.
That's awesome. And you'd be amazed just the difference me standing in the Florida boat And that extra 2 feet that you have right there, it's amazing what you can see with it.
Probably an extra 30 yards.
That's right. Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
The great thing about Young is that everything you see on this dash, they will customize to your liking. They had these cardboard cutouts of how big the throttle is, how big my Yamaha screen is going to be, how big my Roswell screen is going to be, the trim tabs, everything. So I got to sit here and play with my throttle, my wheel, and pick out exactly where I wanted everything on this boat.
Right. So you could essentially see it all laid out before it was set in stone. That's awesome.
Yeah. So we use those little cardboard inserts and just, well, it feels comfortable with my throttle right here next to the wheel.
Right.
So that was like the really cool part of the process is to cut. I mean, this is where my office is. I got to basically customize my desk in my office.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yep. So we got 4 insulated boxes. That's going to be an insulated box. That's where you can keep your drinks or your cold food. So that way you don't have to get up underneath of you and grab your drink. You can just lean up right here and grab your ice cold beer. And this is going to be the designated fish box. More than plenty of room for the type of fishing I do. I'm usually not a kill them all, smush the eggs kind of guy. I'm kind of guy who brings home enough for dinner, maybe enough for like leftovers, and the rest I throw catch and release.
To fish, catch tomorrow. Yeah.
Exactly. I'm more that kind of guy.
Right.
Being a young captain, kind of looking at like the future of
right.
our waters, and this is more than enough space for a kill box.
Yeah, for
Couple
sure.
Couple cobia could fit in there, limited snapper, frozen mullet, what have you. This boat has an 80-gallon fuel tank. So for me, fishing in the Gulf of Mexico a lot, just some really far Gulf wrecks, that's a really important thing too, is to have plenty of miles. I mean, being in Islamorada, we're only a hop, skip, jump away from being in the Bahamas. Pick the right weather windows, I can cross the Bahamas, no problem.
Right.
So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
How long have you been running charters?
So I've been running charters for the past 3 years. Before that, I was a first mate for 3 years.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
It's same thing I do. I'm a new and upcoming charter boat captain, and this is my first full-time year doing it. And I can tell you, man, it's an awesome thing to have to do. It's like people say you never work a day in your life if you love what you do. If that's the case, I won't work another day the rest of my life.
It's exactly that. It's just living the dream for me. I used to be the charter customer. It used to be the big once a year vacation for me where we'll go on a charter. So for me, it's living the dream. Came from Maryland, went to the Florida Keys as our trip, and all of that. It just kind of just seemed like just a fantasy. And finally,
it's a reality.
I took the leap and put some time in and worked my way up the ladder. And now I'm standing on my dream custom built boat.
That's awesome, man. Congratulations to you. And I hope you have continued success in the future. Let our viewers know where they can find you.
Yeah, if you want to follow what I do, go to Bean Sport Fishing. You can go on beansportfishing.com, Bean Sport Fishing on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Bean Sport Fishing.
That's awesome, man. Well, I can't thank you enough for taking the time to go over your new custom boat. And I hope you catch and kill a lot of fish on this thing, man. It's awesome. And the young boats here, it's just amazing what they're doing. You know what I mean? I
mean, to have everything customized to your liking,
it's crazy.
Nothing to argue about there, right?
No, it is not. And I'm glad to know there's a company out there that would do that kind of thing, willing to do that kind of thing. And I can see where it's a huge market, for it. So,
yeah, man.
Well, we can't thank you enough, man.
Yeah,
appreciate it, and enjoy your time here at the boat show.
Yeah, hopefully come down and visit me in Islamorada, and we'll go put you on some fish.
That sounds awesome. Thank you.